People of YouTube, welcome back for episode 3 of Wonder Bathos. I said it right that time. I am your host, Optometron, here with my lovely guest. I have to remember which side my hands are on. Kushter. Me and Kushter have been friends for quite a while now. She's one of my favorite people on Twitch. We play video games all the time. We do a lot of like survival stuff and then like Dead by Daylight stuff. She is a wonderful, amazing human being, one of the funniest people on Twitch, and I'm very honored to have her here tonight as a guest. So why don't you introduce yourself, Kushter?
Hello, I am Kushter. I am a variety streamer on Twitch. I am also an IT nerd, a mom, and all kinds of other things. So
perfect. That's like that describes most of my friend base.
exactly.
An IT nerd. I like video games. I'm a parent.
I'm a parent.
All those things seem to go hand in hand together.
Yes.
So, like I was saying, I typically try to ask a couple like buffer questions, the typical podcast questions that you would ask when you have a guest on, especially with the whole Twitch thing. So how did you find Twitch? What made you want to become a streamer, and like where do you think you're going with it?
So of course, much like most of us other people on Twitch, I found Twitch during COVID, when we were all stuck at home, nothing to do, nowhere to go. And I actually had it was a local musician friend decide to start streaming on Twitch because he couldn't play out, so he was losing income. He was a full-time musician. So he threw it up on his Facebook, hey, I'm going to be streaming on this website. And so I checked it out. And then, of course, after his stream was over, I went in and I went to the search and I'm like, what else is on here? And I found a few art streams that I was pretty interested in. And I became friends with one of the people that did the art streams. And she actually finally convinced me into streaming for myself. But of course, I am no artist at all. But I was like, I love video games, so I could do that. And so that's kind of how I fell into it. So
That's awesome. I love how that happens too, because like similar how I got in there. One of my close personal friends, Dan. He was streaming and he was just starting out, and he was he had posted one of his links like, hey, I'm going to be streaming on the site, and same thing. I was just like, let me click the button and see what's going on, and then just kind of fell in love with the formula and kind of how it works with the streaming and stuff, and watched him for a couple of months, and then was like, you know what, I want to do this too. And then that's kind of how I became a streamer as well. I think that's kind of amazing that you see that more and more often, and it's like people don't just click the link and then just become viewers. People want to be involved, and they want to do it. They want to become a streamer, and I think it's fantastic that it's kind of a platform where anybody can do it as long as you have a camera and a mic, and a computer.
yeah,
so.
and it's awesome to have the support. Like I had, like I said, my art streamer, her name was Amanda. She taught me into it, and then it was just instant, support. I'll show you how to do this. Let me show you how to do your OBS. Like, let me show you all of the things that someone showed me. And then I think I had 3 streams and I was affiliated. Like,
That's
it was
awesome.
Crazy. It was wild.
I'm jealous. It took me like a whole month. It was like a whole month to become affiliate, and then it was like another 3 months to get a payout.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, I was affiliated in no time because her community supported me so much.
That's amazing.
Now it's funny because a lot of those people you never hear or see from anymore.
Right.
But in the beginning, they were there and they were, helping pump me up and tell me I could do it. So it was pretty awesome.
It seems like people come and go pretty frequently with the platform, and I think so you said it was kind of close to the start of the pandemic.
Yeah.
That's I had been streaming a little bit longer than that. I think I started probably 6 months, maybe a year before the pandemic started, but there was a huge boom when that happened, and it is kind of sad because a lot of people that were around back then aren't on the platform anymore. You know, I'm sure other life stuff is just taking priority. But it's crazy how that happens. You know, I've noticed a lot of people like don't even get on social media anymore. You know, they're not on Twitter or anything, and now it's like a whole new wave of people, and just kind of how it cycles in and out like that. Do you want to give your friend a shout out? Does she still stream?
She does not stream anymore.
Aw.
She's yeah, but her name was Amanda Conda Creates, and
Ooh.
she did a lot of clay sculpting and stuff like that. She was so good. I actually have, if I can reach it, it's so awesome. She made me a centaur from Harry Potter. Oh, and I keep him.
Oh my God, she made that?
She made this on stream for me.
Dude, that is so detailed. That is
And and he's
amazing.
got his Hogwarts, he's got oh, let me get it right.
His Gryffindor,
His
yeah.
Gryffindor, yep. I
His
mean, just
Gryffindor scarf.
amazing. So
That is so
amazing.
freaking cool. I love
And so
that.
it was funny. So when I first got him, he got ruined, unfortunately. The mailman didn't handle with care, and his head came off.
Oh no. Did you fix it or did you have to send it back to get it fixed?
She had me send it back, and she fixed it, and then she resent it and packaged it a little differently. So, and if I know, of course, I paid. I was like, let me pay for this. I feel terrible, because I redeemed channel points to get it made, which seems like it's a huge project, but she loved to
Yeah.
do it, and so that's what she said. I want to do it. So, but I did pay to send it back so she could fix his head because it popped right off. But you
That
can
is
see it a little, but the scarf covers it up. So
that is amazing. I really hope that Amanda is doing well wherever she is, and you know, if she ever does come back to the platform, that is amazing. That's incredible. I would love to see some of those art streams.
it's
That
so
is
good. And
super cool.
actually, last was it over the summer? I met her in real life. My husband is in a band, and he had a show in Atlanta, and that's where she lives. And she came to the show, and we got to hang out. It was awesome. So
Yeah, that's
it
awesome.
was really
Yeah.
cool.
I know that your husband's in a band, so you guys get to go travel a lot,
Hmm.
and you get to see a bunch of crazy venues and all that stuff. That's amazing. So it seems like you have some pretty cool adventures. It seems like,
Yeah,
and
we
then
have
it's like
fun.
when you're not on adventures, you're like, I'm gonna play video games with my friends, like.
That's right, my friends.
And so as far as the Twitch thing, so now you're invested, you're in it, you're doing the thing. Do you have like any goals or any sort of aspirations with it? Are you just kind of flying by the seat of your pants, and like, you know, your focus is just community, or like, do you someday want to hit Twitch partner or do any of that stuff?
Mostly it's flying by the seat of my pants because there are times where, like, because I have smaller children, they're not teenagers yet. So, there's times where I'm tired, or I just feel like I can't be that consistent. Like I'm pretty consistent with twice a week,
Hmm.
but there are some times where I'm like, oh, I just can't do it tonight. I'll
Oh,
still play. I just won't go live.
I totally feel that. I do.
So,
Like our new schedule now is, I mean, I'm only streaming 3 nights a week. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And you know, my wife, she streams Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, because Friday's like
mhm.
our night to do stuff together or do community stuff. And it's like, we're like, yes, we have time to do this, but now we're doing it. And it's like, holy crap, we still stream like 5 nights a week between the two of us. But we still have the
Okay.
weekends, you know, like we don't do anything stream oriented on weekends. It's just our time to hang out and be a family and do the family stuff. So like, I can't, I understand even doing 2 nights a week is still kind of like a heavy responsibility. So I totally get that.
Every time I go live, somebody knocks at the door. Even tonight when we were playing earlier, I had to mute and be like, "Oh, I'm busy," you know. Ask your dad. And it was
Oh yeah.
something silly like, "Can I get some potato chips?" I'm like, You didn't need me for that."
Yeah, just go get some potato chips. That is super cool that your children are like, we need to ask for everything.
They ask
Like,
for everything. Can I get a
yeah.
drink? Can I get this? Can I get that? So, but if I don't, they're like little gremlins in the kitchen. So they'll
Yeah.
just eat everything.
Yeah, my son is kind of like that. He just
Boys,
doesn't ask.
you know?
Does not ask for permission. He does not care. He will just do whatever he wants. And it's like, dude, you got to ask first. Like, just ask us, you know.
They'll be
And so
snacking all the time if you don't.
oh yeah, we're working on that. The terrible twos have extended into the terrible threes. So
And the terrible twos, and was it the horrible threes?
is that yeah? It's so much fun watching like the development and watching him get smarter and stuff. And like he tries to be sneaky about stuff, you know, like he'll grab something he's not supposed to grab, and then like we'll find it like hidden between the couch cushions, and it's like, dude, like when did he even have time to do that? You know,
Yeah.
so it's crazy. I do have a question for you, and I've been wondering about this for a while because I literally cannot remember, and it's driving me insane. How did we meet? How did we first meet, Kush? Do you remember?
We met through White Chili.
We met through Chili? I thought I introduced you to Chili.
Did you? Wait. All right, hang on.
I did. I think
Let
I knew
me
you a
back
little
that
bit
up
longer.
then. Let me back that up then.
Because I know you guys are close, and I was really proud of that. I was really proud of introducing you guys.
How did we meet?
Because I met Urka through you, and
was it Captain Diablos? Does that sound familiar?
Maybe. That may have been it. That may have been it. I've met a lot of people through other people on Twitch before.
And I think I met him through, okay, so I was in Amanda's stream, and then I met Geek Vision Productions, who was another artist.
I know Geek Vision.
I believe Captain modded for him. And then I think Captain, when I was raiding one night, suggested you. I think that's how it happened.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
If I remember correctly, that seems like the correct chain because Captain modded for Geek.
I wonder
that's how that happened.
I wonder what the first game we played was.
Probably Among Us.
I thought you didn't play that game. I thought you were against that game.
I played it a little bit. I played it. I think that's why I don't play it as much now because I played it so much when I first started.
That's so wild, and it blows my mind because so many people are like they don't want to play Among Us anymore. But I'm like, dude, Among Us is responsible for me meeting so many people.
So many people. Yeah.
Because it's a good icebreaker. Like you get to learn a little bit about people and like their vibe, and you can tell pretty quickly whether or not they're going to be somebody that like you're going to be friends with long term.
Yeah, but it was probably Among Us, and then we branched into other games, I would think.
Yeah.
Like our Phasmophobia.
Yes, Phasmophobia was pretty early on, and then I think we did The Forest, and there were a bunch of other like really obscure indie games that we've played since then. 7 Days to Die. It's because it's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And then, now you're so your normal squad is usually you, Lexi, Urka, and Chili now, right?
Yeah.
And you guys play a lot of
They're my best friend.
Urka. Give her a shout out. Yeah, Lexi followed me on Twitter a couple days ago, and I think
awesome.
I thought we were already following each other. I kind of feel bad about it now, but
yes, Lexi is a permanent staple in our group. She doesn't stream, but she is very supportive, and so she decided, she's like, I would love to have like my own emote because she doesn't stream, of course.
Right.
Can't get one. So I gave her one of my slots, so that way I uploaded her emote she had made, and she can spam it everywhere.
Oh, that's super nice, dude. That's awesome.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to use all those slots. I can't afford to. I can't afford to fill them up.
That ain't that the truth. My wife is an artist, and she does all of my emotes, and I can't afford to get her to do my emotes. So
well, you run out, and plus you like run out of ideas. Like what else do I need?
Right. Well, see, that's when you start just taking ideas from other people. You go pop into other people's streams, and like, you start seeing because there's a lot of meme ones. Like the Keck W one is a really good one that a lot of people have their own version of. The Lull is another one that people have a lot of different versions of. And I don't know. I think it's fun sometimes to just make like some cursed emotes. You just see like a funny picture on the internet and you just kind of squish it down real small and you're like, this is going to be a fun emote. Some of my best emotes have usually been something cursed that I just find and I'm like, oh yeah, the Opto Weird was just like a weird
Yeah.
Snapchat filter that I just like sized down and it became really popular for a little while.
I feel like I do have one of those that I could probably use. It was from a DVD game, and I was hiding in plain sight, and the person didn't see me, and
Oh yeah.
I was like, I could use that one.
You should. I mean, if you have the extra slots available, you could. You totally could. So that I think that concludes like the streamer questions. We now have free reign to hop into literally any conversation. We can talk movies, TV shows. We had briefly talked about bringing up aliens, so we can talk about aliens if you want to talk about aliens, or we can talk about space, like time travel, serial killers. Like we can literally talk about anything. You're the guest here.
I'm such a nerd. I'm going to talk about games. I'm going to be like, what games are you looking forward to?
Right. I mean, you never know what's on a topic of conversation on people's minds until we get here. There's no script for this, so we're kind of flying by the seat of our pants too. I just think some of that stuff is so fun to like peel back the onion and kind of look into some of that stuff,
Yeah.
And the whole purpose of the podcast is kind of to lift up my friends and spend time with my friends that I don't get to spend a whole lot of time with. So like, this is for you. This is more oriented and tailored for you. So like, if you got something crazy on your mind you want to talk about, I'm here for it. Let's dig in.
Not me. I don't have anything crazy.
Really?
No, not really. Like I talked about the alien thing, like my brother brought that up the other day, but me and him didn't get into like a huge conversation. So I'm not sure I don't know where his source came from as far as, he's like the government release if there's aliens. And I'm like, really? And what brought it up was they released the JFK thing. Did you hear about that?
I didn't hear about the JFK thing. The alien thing I did, and I'll tell you what I know here in a second.
So my mom told me about the JFK thing too. So apparently the CIA is behind it. Okay, like they full on released it.
Yeah, we all knew that was coming. The court, all the docudramas and stuff about it, where it's like back and to the left, back and to the, like there was a second gunman on the grassy knoll, because like where he was standing, the angle didn't line up for the shooter that was arrested. Plus, the dude got shot and killed before he made it to court.
Exactly. So he couldn't sing like a canary. Is what my mother said.
There's so much crazy shit. I
don't ever paid enough attention about it to think that the government would be involved in something like that. But I guess I should have known.
Big Brother's always listening and watching, so like
he's gonna get us right now.
Be careful what I say. No, I mean there's so much stuff about that. I was talking to my coworker today about that. Apparently, around the same time frame, there was like some sort of like military installation. It was like a town, like a fake town that was put together, but there were like 5,000 government employees living and working there, and they were all under like the shush, like don't tell anybody, and it didn't come out until like years and years later. And I'm like, even at that time, how do you get 5,000 people to be like completely quiet?
To be quiet, yeah. Like I can't tell a small group of people anything without something happening.
Exactly. In today's standards, like you couldn't get 10 people to keep their mouth shut with the internet and how fast communication travels. And
maybe like, making TikToks.
Like, especially in my household, there's nothing, like I could not ever keep a secret from my wife because like she's just like, I have to tell somebody everything, So she would be the one person. I can only imagine that's what it's like for you and Doug and like sorry, I just doxed your husband. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Don't Google search Kushter and Doug. Don't find out where they live, please. Listening at home.
But no, I could never keep anything. Like if I don't tell Doug, I text Erica, and she doesn't even live here. Like
Right.
And I'm like, guess what?
I gotta tell somebody this juicy goodness. Everybody's got someone that they gotta talk to about stuff. And I think that's, I don't know, it's wild. It's so wild. But the alien thing about them coming out and saying aliens are real, they totally did. The government, like under everybody's noses, they released a bunch of documents that talk about unexplained flying phenomena and all these video clips. They released government like pilot cams of
See, I haven't even
UFOs and
looked
stuff.
at any of this. I gotta look at it. Yeah, I haven't even.
They're nothing crazy. I mean, you can't really see anything, you know, you can't make out like any details of the ship or anything. It's just like a weird flying object. But the pilot accounts are what's crazy, because there's over 2,000 pilot accounts. Like, you got to remember all the training you have to go through to be a pilot. Like, they're in a good headspace when they go up there. You know what I mean? Like government pilots, military pilots that have seen like crazy shit, and they're like, yeah, we have no idea what this is, and the government just like released all these documents. And
wow,
nobody cares. Nobody's freaking out about it. Nobody cares.
My brother's freaking out about it.
Yeah, everybody should be freaking out about it. It's crazy. This is like unprecedented. I guess it's because we don't have that HD 4K like proof yet that nobody's really freaking out about it. But the Blink 182 guy, Tom DeLonge, runs one of these like government paid for departments.
Doug was telling me that
for aerial phenomena. Yeah, dude. And I listen.
Wild.
He is either one of the most brilliant minds on the planet, or he is out of his fucking mind.
Or he's batshit crazy.
Dude, I'll send it to you after. Actually, I'm going to send it to you, and I will link it in the comments of this YouTube video. But it was a TikTok that I saw about Tom talking about like fifth dimension shit. And he's talking about time and like about aliens and stuff. And he's like, the reason we don't see aliens is because aliens don't perceive time the way that we do. Aliens perceive like time is not linear, you know, all time is happening simultaneously, like at the same time. So like these advanced intelligent beings, these aliens, can look at a room or a spot, and like they'll see like the past, like 300 years ago. They can turn their head just a little bit, and then they can see like 100 years ago, and then they can turn their head a little bit, and then they can see now, and then they can turn their head another little bit, and they can see like 300 years into the future, all happening simultaneously.
Wow.
And I'm like, that it blows my mind to even think like that. And he's like, you know, just because the human race, you know, time is a man-made construct. We use time to keep track of like crops and all that stuff, but we're trained from a young age to like perceive time that way, because we expect that 5 hours from now this room is still going to look exactly like this room, you know, like and if we're waiting on somebody to come over or whatever, and then we'll expect to see this room with that person in there. And then he goes into like this really weird like simulation talk where he talks about like in the forest, like if a tree falls in the forest and nobody's around to hear it, does it still make a noise? And he says no. He's like, it's almost like the world loads in around you. Like somebody would have to be there for that tree to even exist. Like if somebody hasn't been there and seen something, because apparently people create reality around them, and like it just gets very in depth, and he explains it a lot better than I do. But it just blows my mind, because you think about that, like if a tree in Alaska where there's not a single person around for 100 miles, like whether it exists or not, it doesn't really matter because there's nobody there to see it. And so so he talks about people being able to pretty much create, like manifest destiny, like create reality around them. If you believe that you're going to be a rock star and like you put your heart into it, like you're going to be a rock star, you know? And I think that's pretty cool. I think it's interesting. It's that type of interesting thought that if you can put like enough like research behind it, that like maybe we could kind of propel the human race into like a more technologically advanced age, maybe.
But yeah, that's wild to think about.
I was like, did I blow your mind? Is that too much? It was like right off the cuff, just too much alien talk?
No, I mean, it's just wild. It's
We're only
crazy.
24 minutes in, Kush.
I know, right? But
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
I don't do a whole lot of looking into the alien stuff, but like I said, my brother is really into it, and he brought that up about the government stuff, and I was like, that's crazy, because of course I don't pay any attention to any of that stuff. So I
right,
was like,
right.
maybe I should. I'm like, I should look up some of this stuff. I'll probably just go in a rabbit hole.
You probably lead a much happier, like, content existence, not looking into some of that stuff, because like opening the Pandora's box of questions and then just like living there,
Yeah.
that's why people go crazy.
Well,
It's
I'm
just
the
like,
worst. Like, I barely even watch the news. Like, my mom would be like, "Did you hear about this?" And I'm like, "No." Or she'll talk about certain politics, and I'm like, "Who's that?" And she's like,
who's that?
"What?" And I'm like, "Mom, listen, I
Who
can't."
is Mitch Romney? Who is
I
that
was like,
guy?
I was like, I can't. Like, I can only take so much of all the craziness in the world. Now I can tell you all like most of the entertainment stuff. I'm like, oh, did you see about The Witcher?
Oh yeah,
Did you
yeah.
see about Superman? Like that's my kind of thing. I can
We can
talk
we
about
can
that, but it's
we
like,
we can talk
all
about
the
that a little bit. The Witcher stuff is actually really cool. Although I've heard it's gotten a lot of negative feedback because they're trying to
oh
put
yeah.
like content from the Netflix show into the remaster of the game. And I
Yeah,
don't
there's
know.
been a lot of kickback and just
I think
fighting
it's
it.
awesome. I think it's super cool.
So that was, I guess, one reason why the main character that played him wanted to kind of get away from it, because they didn't want to follow the book and the series and how it went. And then of course, he was going to go back and be Superman, and then
And then
that
got
fell
fired.
through
Yeah.
because they decided they want to do a younger version of Superman, apparently. But now he's going to do 40K Warhammer, which is amazing because he plays it. Like he
I,
played the tabletop, he loves all that stuff. So now that he's going to do that with Amazon, I think that's amazing.
there is a big part of me that thinks that it's a very sketchy idea. I I do have to say, because there's
Yeah.
no basis for it right now. It's not like
Hmm.
there's a Warhammer show or movie that's already been made out there. And also I think he's taking over some of like the directorial and like producing of it too.
Hmm.
And so like, yeah, I'm super excited and hyped for it, and I'm sure all the other Uber nerds are, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it is a huge risk in the fact that like his two most popular roles, like he is
Hmm.
now shut out of. um I really hope that
Yeah.
he does get to come back as Superman at one point, because like, man, dude, the Zack Snyder cut was really good, and like I'm all
Yeah.
for rebooting the DCU. I'm all for it. If they want to reboot it and bring in all new characters and try again and do better, I'm totally for it. But also, they can't just like blue ball everybody like that, and
Yeah. Yeah.
like
But
give us one more really good everybody in there. I want Ben Affleck back as Batman
yeah,
one
get
more
them all
time.
back. Get the band back together, right?
And whatever the hell's going on with the Flash movie, I don't know how Ezra Miller's not in prison yet. Jesus Christ, that guy.
Right? I mean, like that whole thing was crazy because he like
Yeah,
got accused of kidnapping that girl, and
dude,
I
it
feel
is.
like at the time that happened, she was not old enough, right?
Yeah,
And then like as she was there, then she turned 18, but like before then, when they were hanging out, she was not 18.
how insane is it that Johnny Depp's ex girlfriend is not the worst person in the DCU? How is this? What's her name? Amber Heard. How
And
is
they
Amber
ever
Heard?
survived this?
How is she not the worst human being in that film franchise?
No,
That
he's
is
got her beat, I think.
That is nuts. Well,
Yeah.
I hope the best for Henry Cavill. I hope that it works out. The dude he just seems like he has such a big heart, and he seems like an amazing human being. So
Yeah.
I really hope the best for him. I hope that he does. There's also rumor. Well, it's not a rumor, but I guess big YouTube channel came out and said he would be really good as the next James Bond. And I'm like, he
Oh
kind of
yeah, I
would be
heard that
good.
too. I heard
He
that too.
he would be good
Yeah.
as the next James Bond. You know,
So
I
maybe
love.
that's something he can work on after his 40K. The reason I think he would do great with the 40K is because he really knows the lore, because he's
Mhm.
interested in it. So, like, from a directing standpoint, I mean, the fact that he knows the lore so well because he's very invested in the game himself.
Yeah, he said he's been
Because
playing it for like 30
well,
years or
they said that
something.
he almost missed his Superman callback because he's playing games. Like he didn't hear his phone because he was put in the middle
Wow.
of game. So like the fact that he's into it so much, I think probably would be a good, inkling that he'd probably be really good at directing it too.
Yeah,
So
no, I'm like I said, I'm hoping the best for it. It's just like they tried to make World of Warcraft like a film franchise, and
and
I
that
heard
didn't
the
work.
movies, dude. Everybody hates it except for like I heard one person, one of my old coworkers, was like the Warcraft movie was amazing. If you like
Well,
Warcraft, you need.
isn't there like some good actors in that though?
Yeah, I think
Like weren't there some
Carl
like
Urban. I think Carl Urban was in it.
yeah, I was like there's some like big names in that. Like I'd totally watch it. But that's me. I watched all the Mortal Kombat stuff when it came out. Like just all of the things that you're like, why did they do that? I watched all that. And I'm like, I love it.
Right, right. I think you just can't listen to people's opinions. You have to give it your own
Yeah,
shot.
give it your own shot.
I think what made people upset about the World of Warcraft stuff is they went like way, way, way back with the lore. I don't know much about World of Warcraft, but like the games take place like a long time after when the movie came out. So the movie was like 100 years before, like 1,000 years before, some like crazy long time, and everybody wanted like the video game stuff, and they didn't get that. And I think that's what if I remember correctly, Uber nerds, feel free to correct me in the comments below. Also, hit that like and subscribe button. There's my self promo. Tell your friends, please. I do this for fun, but I do want to see it grow. I want to see it grow. I have so many amazing friends and guests lined up coming up through April. And I plan on booking out way past that. This is my Monday nights now. And I'm so grateful to be here and have people like Kushter here on the show. So thank you again, Kush, for being here.
Yay.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I usually would do that at the end of the episode, but I was feeling inspired.
We're going to do it now. We're going to do it now.
We're going to do it now. So speaking of video games, are there any games coming up that you're looking forward to? Are you going to go back and play The Witcher when the new one comes out?
The game, there's so much to it. Like I play it on and off, but I get very bored. I get bored so quickly with games, like especially single player games.
120-hour long games.
Crazy. So Sons of the Forest is coming out. So the sequel to The Forest. I'm super hype about that one. I think that one comes out in February.
We're squadding up for that, right? Like
yes, we have.
I just want to make sure I got a spot.
So we're gonna have a big group, it sounds like, because I don't know if you've ever heard of Mr. Sunchips.
I have heard, yeah.
Yes, so Mr. Sunchips.
Is he the one that's friend was with T-Pain?
Yes. So
that's so insane.
So our buddy Chili has been playing on Saturdays with Brew and the Crew, and Chili is in. So he's been playing with Brew and the Crew, and T-Pain pops in all the time, and they play games, like different games together. So it's just wild to think that playing video games with T-Pain, but it's really
cool. That's another thing I love Twitch for, man, because like you get to see like celebrities just be regular people on the platform, and I think that's super cool.
Yeah, so Sunchips has we're gonna squad up with some of his people, and then of course we're gonna have our friends, and we're gonna pack it out. If they offer a dedicated server, we're gonna go ahead and just buy one, and just do a dedicated server. But yeah,
is that a thing? Is that a thing for Sons of the Forest?
I don't know. I hope so. I hope it will be.
I mean, why would you need? You can only play with so many people at a time, though, right? So why would they need a dedicated server?
I think you can have in the forest. I think you could have up to 15 people.
What? Really?
But it was,
I didn't.
I think so. Yeah.
What?
I think it was. I think you could have like a whole bunch of people. Now, depending on who was hosting it, could slow it down. So that's why it'd be nice to have a dedicated server.
Could you imagine 15 of us like going down into one of those caves at one time? Holy shit, that'd be insane.
So I might be wrong. Somebody fact check me, but I feel like you could have a lot of people. Maybe it's something stupid like you could only have 8. I'm like, you can have 80 people.
Even 8, that's a lot for that game, it feels like. So speaking of the forest too, have you ever seen? I found out the other day that there's a secret monster called the Worm. Have you seen the Worm?
Okay, so what did Eric and I call him? Penis monster.
The penis monster. Okay, that's
So
fair.
okay,
He
so
does. He does.
he spawns in on day 40. Okay, I
So
think
it's
it was day
time
40,
based. Yeah.
and it's
So
time based. So Eric and I are in the mountains, and we are like, we see this pretty pond, and we're like, we're gonna build a big ass house on this pond in the mountains. It was so pretty. And so we're building, and all of a sudden I hear, ah! And trees start flying everywhere. Our house collapses, and she's like, Kush, did you just knock down a tree on top of our house? And I'm like, no. And then this big penis monster's like, and it kills her, and I'm running from it. But it like will come apart, and it will like go through, then it'll come back together, and it'll get really big. But yeah, so we just call it the penis monster.
were you guys able to kill it, or did it get you guys?
No, we ran and we got in a cave, and then we never came out.
Ah, okay, okay.
We
I
were
cannot
like, okay, we're
wait.
done.
I cannot wait to write the description for this episode, by the way, because it's going to be like, in today's episode, we talk about JFK, alien conspiracies, and penis monster.
Penis monster. So, because we had already beat the game, and we chose in the game, not to be a spoiler alert, we chose not to.
You chose not to finish the game, so you got to stay.
Yes. And then
Yes,
you
okay.
got.
That's a good way to put it. That's a good way to put it.
And then
Without
so, yeah, so we chose to stay on the in the game, and so then at that point there's not a lot left to do, but like build and stuff,
Right.
and so that's what we were doing, and then day 40 happened, and then big monster, and
So you
we
guys
were
just
like,
quit.
okay, we're done.
You guys just
We're
quit
done.
that playthrough. You were just like, all right, penis monster, we're out. We're just not. We're not going to play this.
It was impossible. It was like he was so hard to kill. We were like, you know what, we're good, like we're okay.
I wonder if it gives you anything. There has to be, or is that the reward? Is that you just unlocked another pain in the ass monster?
I mean, we had a gun and stuff, but it just seemed like the fact that he could like dismember himself and attack you and like fling himself at you and then get back together. We were like, okay, we're good.
I wonder if you built a houseboat in the middle of the water, because the monsters can't go in the water. It kills them. So I wonder, but he flies, doesn't he? Does he fly?
He does all kinds of stuff. And I want to say too, I think Fuster, our friend Fuster, was playing with us. And I think we like kind of like blamed him too, because he loaded in like at the end. I'm like, this is your fault, this monster.
It's legit.
But it turns out it was just day 40.
It was just day 40. It was time.
This is not your fault. He's like, what? I just wanted to play.
That is amazing.
But definitely Sons of the Forest. I know there were like, I feel like there was some other games that were coming out, but I can't.
What did you think
really
about?
Think of them.
What did you think about Half Dead when we played the other day? What did you think about that game?
I liked it. I thought it was really fun.
I thought it was. I think it is too. It's so cool.
That was the
like,
one where you throw the shoe.
Yeah, you have to,
yeah.
It's the the platform. It's all the different rooms that all have tracks.
Yeah, I like that. That was really fun. Yeah.
And you have to open a door and throw your shoe through. I just think it's cool because it's different. The layouts and stuff are different every time, and it's a lot of fun to play with friends because like you get into some pretty crazy situations.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. And then of course I'm still playing DVD, so like
right.
all the. I haven't actually been playing on the live servers because we've been doing so many custom things, but it's just so much more fun with custom because you have access to everything and.
Right.
Dude,
I've been loving the DVD stuff. I mean, you do the subscription or whatever, the season pass, right?
Well, for DVD they don't really have one, so you just have to buy the DLCs as they come out. Now, Fortnite, I do have I have the game.
You got the season pass, yeah.
Yeah, the battle pass is what it is.
I love playing that game. I just don't think I play it enough to warrant getting the season pass on it. But I will say, I think that, I don't know, DVD, we've been playing a lot more of that. I think I may...
Get you some DLCs, pick up some new killers.
Yeah, well, because Kama's been liking it too. And like, if she's going to get something, I'm going to get something, so...
And the good thing about the DLCs for Dead by Daylight, they're not super expensive. Like, you can get the killer and the survivor for like $12. And you get
that's
both.
not bad at all.
Or you can buy them
Fortnite's like
individually.
Fortnite is like $20 a character, dude. The Dragon Ball one came out, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get that. And then it was like $20 per character, and I was like, fuck that, I'm not getting that at all.
They're so expensive. I think Chili just got Terminator, and he spent like $20 on Terminator.
Wow. I mean,
because I like to trigger him a little bit because I have RoboCop, and I'm like, look, Chili, I got Terminator. And he's like, shut up, that's not Terminator.
That's not Terminator. No, RoboCop is just some dude that died, and then they were like, nope, you're going to get back up and go back to work.
Yeah, so I have RoboCop, but I think I earned him. I don't even think I bought him. And, but he'll turn his Terminator on, so I'll get RoboCop out. He's like, it's not the same.
You can actually earn stuff through Fortnite? You can actually earn costumes and stuff?
Yeah, so that's part of what the Battle Pass is. So when you get your Battle Pass, every time you, like, play, you get stars, and then you get so many stars, and then you can claim the pages of the Battle Pass. And you have like 14 pages of stuff you can claim throughout the season. So
that sounds like gambling. It's like, you give us money, we'll give you something shiny, and then you can do something else with that shiny.
Then you can spend it. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So, but
damn you, Fortnite.
Fortnite gets a lot of my money because I'll run out of V-Bucks, and I'm like, well, I really want this, or I want this dance, because we have to dance, and
right.
So
they have a perfect storm of like marketing that goes into it. That's why I'm scared. I feel like
TikTok dances, they get all that.
If I spend the first $1, if I spend $1 on Fortnite, that just opens up the door to spend more money on it, and that's why I'm like, I can't start, because then I'll never stop.
Yeah, I'm the same boat, because I do that with Fortnite and Dead by Daylight. I didn't buy the new Killer and Survivor for Dead by Daylight yet, just because I haven't been playing enough to warrant it, but they do look fun.
Right. So speaking of Dead by Daylight, have you played the dating sim yet for Dead by Daylight?
Not yet. I haven't yet.
Oh my god, you need to play it. It's so good. Common did it on her stream. I think it was last week, and
yeah,
I have not laughed that hard in a while. It is so extra, and the killers are all so sexually emphasized. They don't look anything like they do in Huntress. Just looks like a normal lady in the game, right? She just looks like a dirty, normal serial killer lady in the game.
But buff her up in the
dude,
game, like
she looks she's like She-Hulk, and she's got like boobs and butt, and like, dude, it's pretty wild.
I want to say, I think the same people that did the KFC dating game helped them develop this one.
That would make sense.
So did you play? Erica played the KFC dating game.
Okay.
And I watched her play it, and it was so funny. And so
I love that one.
I can imagine that Hooked on You is really funny as well.
I will keep the KFC one forever. I don't even think you can download it anymore. But if you have it, you have it, and I'm never getting rid of that. It's so good. There's a spork monster in that game. It is so cute.
They made Colonel Sanders look so hot. It's like, he didn't look like that. He was an old dude. They turned
the Colonel into a Japanese anime character.
They sexualized him. Oh my god.
They sure did. That's those anime dating games. Oh man. I'm trying to think of what else I'm looking forward to. I really God of War, the new God of War looks really good, but can't play that until we get a PlayStation. Oh god. Oh, Crisis Core. I don't know if you're not a Final Fantasy nerd, right?
No, I've never played any Final Fantasy games, believe it or not.
I would definitely recommend it, but I don't think you currently may not have the time to invest in doing something like that. If you do, you could probably just start with Final Fantasy VII. None of them intertwine. Like, they're all separate.
Okay.
Separate, like, worlds, separate characters, all that stuff. So if you play 7, you're not going to be, like, lost in the story. Like, what the fuck happened in the last 6? But 7 would be a good start. JRPGs are a lot of fun. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just going to say you should play that if you get a chance to. I was going to say something else. I was going to ask you about Warhammer. You've been playing Warhammer, right?
Yeah, I've been playing Warhammer. I've never been into Warhammer at all. White Chili got me into Warhammer.
Yeah.
But I do love it. It reminds you of, so we're doing the Warhammer, the 40K Dark Tide.
Dark
And
Tide.
I
Okay.
mean, it really reminds you of a lot of like Back for Blood, Left for Dead kind of thing. You're going through, you're
Okay.
killing stuff, you have a mission, you need to do that mission and stay alive. Like it reminds me of Back for Blood a whole lot, which I love Back for Blood, but we beat it. So now it's like now we're playing Warhammer. We've almost cleared all of those levels too. So like until they release more missions, it's like we've got all those, pretty close to being done. But some other things I know that we have, like Valheim is coming out with their update, their wetlands update, I think it
Are
is.
they
Or
finally gonna make it playable for everybody? Because I swear, the one time I hopped into Chili's server, it was just like lagging so hard you couldn't do
and
anything.
and I feel like part of that is because we have so much built. We have like a hotel and like we have all this stuff kind of built in one area
You guys
to
had a
where
lot of stuff built, but that was not enough stuff to crash, like to make it lag that hard. It was not.
well,
It was not
and
enough for that.
but we tried to load the server up and it wouldn't work. So I don't know, and I don't think we want to do a whole playthrough again. So that may or may not happen.
How
But
many how many hours do you guys think you put into Valheim?
oh, let's see. I can pull it up. I have my
Is it
Valheim.
like 60 or are
I
we?
he's got way more than I do. I'm sure. I have 126 hours.
Wow. Okay, so you guys did put quite a few hours into that game.
How much does he have in there? I love how you can kind of like look at your friend's stuff.
I do too.
It's my favorite.
I was talking to Kama about that earlier. Another one of my our friends, like I don't know. It seems like every time I'm gonna play a game, they end up playing it first, and I'm like, they have to be they're tracking my
294
Steam
hours.
games.
Wow, 294 hours is what he has in that. But I don't know. Mistlands, I said I called it wetlands. It's Valheim Mistlands. But yeah, I don't know that we'll redo everything.
Well, if they update it, maybe it'll be able to run with your existing stuff. Maybe.
Let's hope so. But we are going to start because I've never done a full playthrough of the game Grounded, so we are going to do that. I gifted that to Chili for Christmas, so
Nice.
because it's like still $40, crazy enough, but they just released some new content on that too. So we're gonna, I think, we were
Now,
gonna do it.
what was Grounded again? Can you give me like just a rough?
It's kind of like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Okay, that's
So
right. You're tiny.
Yeah,
everything's big.
you're
Okay.
tiny. Everything's big. You have the spiders, the ants, all the bugs. And
Now,
I'm sure as it
are they
goes further, there are other things too.
Are they realistic looking or are they like cartoony?
I think the ants are a little cartoony, but the spiders, ooh,
They're
spiders,
terrifying. Okay.
they're terrifying, and they're huge. They're huge, and they can shoot webs, and the noise they make is terrifying. Now you can turn down. They have like an arachnophobia setting, but all it does is remove their legs, which I think is even creepier because then it's just their bodies, and they're like, ah!
Oh
like,
my
oh
goodness. Yeah, that sounds even more terrifying. I don't know how I'd
So,
feel about that.
I was like, I can't do this either. So, but so we're gonna start probably after the holidays. We're gonna start doing playthroughs of that. I wish it was more than 4 people, but you can only have 4 people. So
Right.
we're gonna get a group together to do a playthrough of that until the Sons of the Forest come out. Trying to just keep the games going. Try not to play the same thing all the time because we do
Right.
play Fortnite a lot. But it's our go-to, We're
It seems like that's the formula for Twitch or anything else. Like it's either you have one game that you main and you play nothing else but that game and just get really good at that game, or you have to just constantly be switching it up to new and more exciting stuff. It seems like you have a pretty good rhythm with it, though. You guys play through the game pretty quickly and then move on to the next one. So
we're
seems like
doing
you guys are on the right track.
I think it's the first Thursday of every month. We're doing a community rec fest. So we have there's a server that Chili is a part of where you can, I think it can have up to 20 something people. And Wreckfest is a fun game. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You're racing to win, but you're also trying to demolish everybody's cars at the same time. And they have a nice mod where you can put it in and you can get all the cars. So you don't have to like grind to get them. Right. And then you could just, it is a good time. And that's also with sun chips and brewing the crew. And so we are doing that the first Thursday of the month. And we did it this past, like at the beginning of this month. And we played for 4 hours and it did not feel like 4 hours.
That's
It
awesome.
was,
Those are
it
always the
was,
best nights.
and I was like, I had to like try to keep quiet in my house because I was yelling. I was like, I can't believe you did that. I was screaming and I was like, oh God, I got to be quiet. Like everybody's asleep. But
Oh
you just
yeah.
get so hype about it. You're like, yeah, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, Kama did that to me before our gaming session today. She was like, the kids taking a nap, and I'm like, dude, I'm about to start streaming with Kush. I'm gonna be yelling and loud.
Yeah.
I was like, he's not gonna be able to sleep much longer.
But yeah, Wreckfest, if you ever find it on sale, it is a fun one to pick up, and then we're gonna try to do that monthly.
I do want to start doing more like racing games because, like, I know that what's the soccer one?
Rocket League.
Yeah, I know Rocket League's been pretty popular. That one looks pretty fun, but I think it's like kind of starting to die out a little bit. And then wasn't there another one you guys were playing from the same company?
There was Turbo Golf Racing. Golf Racing. It's almost like you're golfing with your car. It is fun. It's a fun one as well. But yeah, I felt like it was kind of dying out because every time you play, you'd see the same usernames. And then
sorry.
I think.
I'm sorry I missed the Hot Wheels racing one. That one looked like I saw a bunch of big streamers playing the newest Hot Wheels racing game, and
it was
looked
expensive.
Like
I feel like the Hot Wheels game was expensive though.
It was like $60.
It's like $60. I was like, I can't justify spending $60 on a Hot Wheels game. Like,
I feel like it would have been worth it.
Yeah.
It probably would have been worth it to play it. Awkward pause. Dun 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 dun. No, what did I say earlier? Bananas.
Bananas.
This is the first time in 3 episodes that's happened. There's last week with Kevy, there were a couple times where it was like me and him were trying to talk at the same time, and so we had like an awkward pause for a second, but we picked up pretty quickly. I get lost in thought, and I'm like, okay, where can we take this from here? Hot Wheels. Fuck, I don't know where to go from Hot Wheels.
Oh, no. There is another game that I really enjoyed, but I only played the DLC, the Tiny Tina's.
Oh yeah, that's a D&D based one. Yeah, my thing is I'm just not a big fan of Borderlands, dude, and people are gonna crucify me for this, but it's fucking boring, dude. It's so boring. The story development is so slow. You're doing the same missions over and over and over and over and over again for like hours. Like I feel like the first Borderlands I played with somebody for like 6 hours to get to the next cutscene, and I was like, that's too much. I was like, that's way too much.
This one was not that bad because I do get, like I said, you lose my attention span very easily with games, but this one was cute the way it was set up. Now I don't know if all of them are like that, but this one you could buy just the DLC and try and play it.
Right.
And but the story was fun. Like you'll be doing something and she'll pop up and be like, and then this happened, and it'll be something ridiculous.
Right.
And that they'll throw in the story and you have to fight it and you'll die. And she'll be like, oh, I meant for that to happen. There's no way you could have beat him. And then like she'll push you forward to where like you can finish, what we're doing to begin with, like your quest. It was really fun. Like I enjoyed like the commentary between the characters and
yeah, see, that sounds awesome.
That they kept it interesting because I felt like I would have been like, ugh, is this over yet?
Yeah, so that's awesome. That is nothing like the other games, the other entries in the franchise. Because I mean, I think the whole thing was like it's supposed to be like Dungeons and Dragons kind of, or like inspired by. And I think that's really cool. If they did more games like that, I would definitely want to play those for sure.
But that one was a really cool one, and I only got the DLC just to try it, and we finished it. It was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of any other good games that I'm interested in that I've seen. Like I really wanted to do Harry Potter. Like I was Hogwarts. I was looking forward to it, but then it wasn't multiplayer like I wanted it to be, and
also all the stuff about J.K.
and then
Rowling,
of that stuff, and I'm like, well, that's out. Forget that,
So many
because
people
I'm a huge
boycotting
Harry
that.
Potter fan.
That's how I
And
feel about Bayonetta. Like I wanted to play.
it's
I was
just,
so excited about the new Bayonetta, and then like they totally screwed the voice actress over, and I'm like, well, shit. Now I'm not gonna play that
no,
just
I
out of
can't play
spite.
that, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a dog here. Do you want to see the dog?
Yes. Let's see the dog. I was gonna
I mean,
take a second and talk about our matching T-shirts too. We coordinated outfits
yes.
before before we met
This
up
is
earlier.
our rescue dog. This is Roxy.
Roxy, how's she
So
doing?
Roxy, she's good. She's doing good. We found out she's got a little more puppy in her than we thought, but that's okay.
Oh, so she's a little bit younger.
Yeah, she's about a year and a half old.
Aw, she's got
So
huge ears. That is
she
awesome.
does.
She's super adorable.
But yeah, she was lost and we found her, and then
Aw.
we found her owner, and then a few months, like 6 months later, the owner randomly called and said, "Hey, can you take her back?" And we're like, "Okay, yeah, sure." Because they were old and they had been in and out of the hospital and stuff. And so we were like, "Yeah, we'll take her." So she lives with us now.
Well, I'm glad that she found a good home. That's really sweet of you guys to take her. It seemed like you were pretty excited when you got the call about it.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
excited. So
You grow
anyway,
attached to animals so fast.
yeah, I didn't want to give her back when I had to, but I was like, she's not mine. Like, I got to get her back.
Right. Yeah, good.
So
Thank you for being a good person
I
and
know,
not just being
right?
like, this is my dog now.
Hey, come on, Toby. Good job.
That's crazy. How did you find the owners? Were there like missing
So
missing dog
yeah,
posters?
we ended up, the social media stuff wasn't working great because like everybody had an opinion naturally, and then just like we were like, well, what if they're old and they're not on social media? And so that's when we made the posters and put them all around or around my mom's neighborhood, and then that's what did it. Is they saw the post, then her neighbor saw the poster because they lived in like an old, like, not, it sounds mean, like an old people community, like a senior citizen community.
That doesn't sound mean at
and
all.
and
Those are everywhere.
and they're all, they're all nosy, and in each other's business. And so she saw the poster and called and said, "I think that's my neighbor's dog." And she said, "I'm gonna have my neighbor call you." And then that's just kind of how we found the owners. So naturally, none of them were on social media because they were
How
old.
weird! How weird that the neighbor called you instead of like just going to her neighbor's house and being like,
The
"Hey, I found this
neighbor
poster. I think
called.
it's your dog."
The neighbor called us when she wanted to get rid of the dog. The lady didn't call us. The neighbor called us first to see if we were interested.
That's
And then,
weird. That's so
but I
weird.
can say that she was Spanish, like she spoke more Spanish than English, and so I felt maybe that's
Ah,
why she maybe had her call. But to me, her Spanish, I mean, her English was fine. Like I could completely understand her when she spoke with me. So maybe she just didn't feel confident enough to be like, "Hey,
do you want this dog back?
do you want this dog back?"
You want this
But
dog-
her nosy old neighbor is like, "I'll do it."
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, Cushy, we are just about out of time. So what I usually like to do for the end of the episodes is ask you if you have any final thoughts. Do you want to promote or pitch anything you got coming up? Do you want to talk about your social media or like your stream? Or do you want to leave us with some words of wisdom, maybe some positivity? The last two episodes, first episode, me and Kama talked about mental health. The second episode, me and Kevy talked about etiquette and like how to treat people. So the floor is yours, and you can take it away. Let's leave on some sort of positive note, some sort of positive message. If you were standing on a podium in front of 1 million people and you got to say something super prolific, what would you say?
Well, definitely mental health. Like I know in my channel, we focus a lot on mental health, taking care of yourself, lifting each other's up, just supporting each other. And, we are huge advocates for that in my community. And, we even have in my Discord, we have a minute clinic that, is what we call it, kind of like CVS has a minute clinic. Like if you want to chat about something, ping me, we'll hop in there, we'll chat about it. It could be private. Of course, within my channel, I have lots of things that are on timers, how it's okay not to be okay. Like it's, we're human and it's okay to have a bad day.
Right.
We have the suicide prevention phone numbers kind of posted everywhere. So definitely mental health is something we struggle with. So It's
I
super important.
I think that's amazing that you have tools and stuff like that posted and available in your Discord. And the Minute Clinic, that is, I didn't know about that, and I think that's amazing. I think that's
Yeah, we have a minute
very,
clinic.
I think that's very nice, because we kind of have like a mental health channel in our Discord, but it's literally just like, if you have like something you need to vent and get out, like you can post it there and just to kind of get it out and stuff. But I think that you have the means for people to be able to talk about it privately and stuff for a little bit. I think that's amazing. I think that is wonderful.
Yeah.
And I love that you're doing that. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for being a wonderful human being, and thank you for being my friend. And
Well, thank you for being my friend.
And thank you for being on my podcast, and thank you for playing video games with me. I definitely, out of all of my, I try not to play favorites with these podcasts and stuff. I really do. I really try not to play favorites, and because there are still so many amazing people that I need to ask to be on the show. So when I'm like, oh yeah, I got people booked out through April, I'm like, oh fuck, who haven't I asked yet? And are they going to be mad that I haven't asked them yet, you know? But I definitely, I love your face. I think you have an amazing family, and you are one of my friends that I cherish deeply. And every time that we get to play video games and stuff, it's an honor for me, just because you are a wonderful human being, and I am so happy to have you in my life. So thank you again, Kushter, and thank you for taking time out of your day to do this for me. And I can't wait to upload it and let everybody listen to it. So
awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
We'll
so
play some games soon.
We will. We definitely will, dude. I cannot wait for Sons of the Forest. So to all of you guys watching on YouTube at home, please go follow Kushter. Her link is right there posted at the bottom of the screen. She's an amazing human being. Tell her that Opto sent you. Also, leave comments underneath the video of what you thought about the video. If you want to weigh in on any of the stuff we were talking about. If we said anything incorrectly, you know, when we're talking about the conspiracy stuff, please post that stuff below. Tell us what you want to hear more of, or if you have questions that you would like me to ask my next guest, drop those comments below. But with that, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week. Good night. Bye.